Imagine a world where the stars weren't just twinkling lights, but keys to unlocking the universe's secrets. Long before telescopes or computers, brilliant minds in the ancient Middle East and Asia gazed upward and cracked codes that still shape our world today. They invented the number 0, calculated the Earth's circumference with astonishing accuracy, and even predicted eclipses centuries in advance. But history has buried their names under the sands of time. Welcome back to Forgotten Geniuses, the channel where we unearth the unsung heroes who changed everything. Today, we're diving into the most famous yet forgotten mathematicians and astronomers. If you're fascinated by how ancient wisdom powers modern tech, hit that like button now and subscribe for more mind-blowing stories. Let's journey back thousands of years. Our story begins in the fertile crescent of Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, around 3000 BCE. This wasn't just the birthplace of writing and cities, it was where mathematics and astronomy first took root. The Babylonians, part of ancient Mesopotamian cultures, didn't have famous individual names like later eras, but their collective genius laid the foundations for everything that followed. Think about it. We still use their sexagesimal system for time and angles. Why 60 minutes in an hour? They divided the circle into 360 degrees, because 60 is highly divisible, making calculations easier for astronomy. These folks were obsessed with the skies. They tracked planets like Venus and Jupiter, creating detailed star catalogues that predicted celestial events. One standout achievement? The Babylonian astronomical diaries, clay tablets recording night sky observations for over 700 years. They calculated lunar cycles so precisely they could forecast eclipses. Imagine, in 747 BCE, they noted a solar eclipse. Mathematically, they solved quadratic equations centuries before the Greeks, using geometry for land surveys after Nile floods. Wait, that's Egypt, but Babylonians did similar things with the Euphrates. They developed Pythagorean triples, like 3-4-5 triangles, without theorems, just practical magic. Unfortunately, their knowledge was absorbed by Greeks like Ptolemy, who got all the credit. But without Babylonian sexagesimal system and algebra precursors, no modern clocks or GPS would exist. Let's look to the east where empires rose, and with them even greater individual geniuses emerged. Fast forward to ancient India, where mathematics and astronomy intertwined with philosophy and religion. From the 5th century CE, geniuses like Aryabhata revolutionized how we see the universe today. Aryabhata, born in 476 CE in Kusumapura, modern Patna, was a polymath who wrote the Aryabhatiya at just 23. He proposed the Earth rotates on its own axis, explaining day and night 1,000 years before Copernicus. He calculated pi as 3.1416, which was incredibly accurate, and approximated the Earth's circumference at 24,835 miles. This is only off by just 0.2% from today's value, but Aryabhata wasn't alone. Enter Brahmagupta, born in 598 CE in Rajasthan. This guy formalized 0 as a number, not just a placeholder, a game changer for math. He introduced negative numbers and rules for arithmetic. His Brahmasphutta Siddhanta treated astronomy too. They calculated planetary positions with trig functions. Then there's Bhaskara II from 1114 CE. In Lilavati, his life's work named after his daughter, he explored the concept of infinity, experimented with calculus precursors like derivatives, and even hinted to the existence of gravity, with statements like, "The Earth pulls objects downward." As an astronomer, he directed an observatory where he spent his time refining eclipse predictions. Varahamihira, another brilliant mind. Around 505 CE, he started predicting earthquakes via solar winds and detailing comets. Their works travelled via the Silk Road to the Middle East, where it quickly influenced Islamic scholars. However, as so often in history, their achievements were downplayed by colonialist, non-Western contributions were simply not taken serious. But without these characters, we wouldn't be living in the same world as we do today. Maybe we would not even have computers. Now, let's continue our journey and cross to the Far East, where precision met innovation. In ancient China, from the Han Dynasty onward, mathematics and astronomy were tools for harmony between heaven and earth. Emperors relied on these geniuses for calendars, agriculture, and even warfare. Let's start with Zhang Heng, born 78 CE. This inventor-astronomer created the world's first seismograph, a bronze urn detecting earthquakes up to 400 miles away. In astronomy, he managed to map 2,500 stars, theorized the universe as infinite, and even built a water-powered armillary sphere, simulating celestial movements. Liu Hui, who was born around 225 CEE, and the author of the 9 chapters on the mathematical art. He approximated pi to 3.1416 using a 3072-sided polygon. He was a true methodical genius. His geometry proofs rivaled Euclid's and were used to solve volumes and areas practically. But the king of pi? Well, this title goes to Zhu Chongzhi, who lived between 429 to 500 CE. He calculated pi to 7 decimals, 3.1415926. This achievement remained unmatched for 800 years. As an astronomer, he reformed the calendar, accounting for the precession of equinoxes and built precise instruments. Fast forward to Shen 1031 to 1095 CE. He was a true polymath. In his essays The Dream Pool, he described magnetic declination for compasses, fossil evidence for geological change, and improved astronomical sightings by using wider tubes and telescopes. Lastly, Guo Shoujing, 1231 to 1316 CE. He engineered observatories and the Shushi calendar, which was accurate to within 26 seconds per year. This version was better initially than the Gregorian. Chinese math emphasized practicality. They used rod numerals for calculations and magic squares for fun. Their isolation preserved unique methods, but exchanges with India enriched both. Unfortunately, the Western narratives focused on Europe, but Chinese inventions like the compass changed the world. Finally, we arrive at the Islamic Golden Age, which lasted from 8th to 13th CE. During this period, the scholars combined knowledge from Greek, Indian, and Chinese sources, which quickly transformed Baghdad into a house of wisdom and created a central hub for intellectual exchange. Al-Khwarizmi, who lived between 780 to 850 CE, was the father of algebra, and his algebra gave us the word. He introduced Hindu-Arabic numerals, algorithms, and astronomical tables for navigation. Omar Khayyam, who lived between 1048 to 1131 CE, solved cubic equations geometrically and reformed the calendar and achieved more accuracy than Gregorian by a millennium. As many back in the time, he was also a poet, but his legacy comes from his achievements in astronomy. Lastly, Al-Battani, 858 to 929 CE. He was responsible for refining trigonometry and calculated the solar year to 365 days, 5 hours, 46 minutes, 24 seconds, spot on. These scholars translated, innovated, and preserved knowledge through Europe's dark ages. From Babylonian tablets to Chinese calendars, Indian zeros to Persian algebras, these forgotten geniuses wove the fabric of modern science. They remind us that innovation knows no borders. If this sparked your curiosity, like and comment your favourite genius below. If you want to see more and support us, then a subscription is appreciated. Otherwise, thanks for watching and stay curious.